You're listening to a daily dose of Proverbs.
Hi, my name is Luke Monroe, and today's proverb is chapter 22, verse 17. Listen closely, pay attention to the words of the wise, and apply your mind to my knowledge. This comes from a section called Words of the Wise in the Bible I'm reading today, the CSB version, and we know that the author was Solomon. Solomon was part of an international community of wise men. We know this in part because the Bible tells us in 1 Kings chapter 4, starting in verse 29, it says, God gave Solomon wisdom and very great insight. And as we skip forward in the chapter, it says Solomon's wisdom was greater than all the people of the East, greater than all the wisdom of Egypt, greater or wiser than anyone, wiser than Ethan the Ezrahite, and Heman, and Calcol, and Darda, sons of Mahol. His reputation extended to all the surrounding nations. Solomon spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs numbered 1,005. And the Bible references in several other places that he was the wisest of the wise men. So he wasn't alone. And before Solomon, 30 to 50 years before him, there was a man who came along called Amenemop. And he had a collection of works, an Egyptian sage, a collection of works called the 30 Words. And these were 30 short and wise or sage sayings that were known and would have been common in the day. And sometimes people can find some pretty wise things on their own just by observing the world we live in, by observing people. God created the world we live in, and he created everything around us. He created the human heart, and he created animals and the sun and the solar system. And so just studying the works of God, you can come away with wise conclusions about the nature of God. However, whenever you take God as the author out of the equation, you miss the key, the key ingredient of the recipe. And this is what Solomon understood. This is why Solomon included phrases like trust in the Lord in chapter 22, verse 19, and fear the Lord in chapter 24, verse 22, bookending these 30 wise words. You see, Solomon understood that although Amenemop came close to touching true wisdom, that there was no true wisdom if you took away the key ingredient, if you took away the source of wisdom itself, which is the fear of the Lord being the beginning of wisdom and knowledge, the author of all wisdom. Listen closely, pay attention to the words of the wise, and apply your mind to my knowledge. Listen closely. How many of us have words come across our ears every day, and we really miss it because it's in one ear and out the other? I've had the chance to preach multiple times, and I've made this mistake in zeal, saying lots of words and realizing at the end, not many were retained. I poured my heart and soul into every word, but there was too much content. The sermon was too long, or I didn't give people time to process. It doesn't really matter what is said. What matters is what is retained. And Solomon understood this. This is why he exhorts the Israelites. Listen closely. Pay attention to the words of the wise, and apply your mind to my knowledge. See, he's about to give them a lot more than Amenemop ever could. He's about to give them true knowledge that is straight from the Lord, and he needs them to get it. So today, as we take in God's word, will we be like Solomon, not like Amenemop, where we take our own human understanding and try to rationalize explanations for what we see and observe, but like Solomon, who receives wisdom from the Lord so that we can apply it to our own lives and use it as we share the gospel of love with others around us. Have a blessed day.
Thank you for listening.